Martin, Yumi, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast with me. I know this has been a work in progress for us behind the scenes, but I'm really glad to sit you down and talk to you a little bit. I've had the opportunity to know you since you were babies, and not literal babies, but to me, babies.
20 years old.
Were you 20 or 19? I can't remember.
I think it was 19 or 20.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I met you when you were probably in your early 20s, right?
Probably 20. I would say like at least like 10 years because Martin and I first started dating.
And y'all have been a part of the church for over 10 years now. You were there almost from the very, 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 very beginning, helping lead worship, which you still do today. And I think that's another thing. I think people might recognize you when they watch this from the stage, if they've been in person or watched online. They don't know this beautiful woman right here, though, with you. So can you introduce your wife and give us a little bit of background? How did you meet? How did the relationship blossom? What did that look like?
This is Yuli, my wife. We met actually through a friend's a connection through a friend. We visited my friend, and my friend is trying to get her back.
Oh, wait. So she was dating your friend?
They were on and off.
Okay.
So she just
I can't wait to get Yumi's version. Look at her face right now.
she just visited him to just hang out and stuff at her friend's house, and then his parents actually invited our parents to like hang out too, but we didn't know that she was there. So we just went over there and oh, who's this girl, like, and my friend was like, oh, that's Yumi, I'm trying to get her back. Yeah.
And are you plotting at that moment? Like, you're not getting her, I'm getting her?
Not really, because at that point I was still sulking about my ex.
I do remember your ex.
Yes, yeah.
I remember that.
So yeah, the whole time you were conversating, I was telling her about my ex and stuff.
He's trying to garner sympathy from you, right?
Yeah, so kind of.
What is your memory of this? Because you have an interesting face right now.
That night was a mess because let's get this straight. We did not like each other at all at the beginning. We actually find each other very annoying. Not each other's type at all. And so that night, it was actually, my ex and I had still had attached feelings. However, it was just one of those where we don't know where it's going. And now I do hang out with them, and I'm very grateful for that family because they're the reason why I am introduced to Christianity and how I am now. So they're kind of like they're a family now because I'm married, but they're kind of like the family that I always respect.
Yeah.
And God always have a reason for things. So I feel like they're the primary reason why I got to know him.
Yeah.
And then get to have the family that I have now. Now that night, it was both. It was us still have attached feeling and trying to get each other, but we don't know where it's going. But I did not realize that they actually have company that's coming over, and which is his family. And I can tell you the first time I opened that door, because somehow I end up being the one open the door for him coming in. And I can remember specifically, he wore a red snapback hat with a shirt that was double his size, red too, khaki pants that was like sagging a little bit, and red tennis shoes.
This is 2010s, Martin.
It's definitely a core memory for me. So
Yeah, so that's what I remember. And the one thing that stood out to me was we were all sitting at the table. I was just trying to like talk with my ex's family and stuff, but I hear this guy just moping and sulking about his girlfriend for about 2 hours straight. And I'm just like, I don't know who this person is, but I'm like, she must be bad. I don't know. But yeah, that was my first impression. I was like, oh, it sucks to be him.
That's about.
So how did you end up asking her out? Like, what is the time frame between these events?
So for me, in my perspective, we had moments. So after that whole ex thing was a done deal, I'm the type of person, like, I know my value, and I do not like people who are fixed. You're gonna choose me. Don't just like waver our feelings, and then like in a season you want me, in a season you don't want me. And so once that is a done deal, we kind of had a talking, and we kind of had attached feelings, but he was also, I guess, I don't want to use the word traumatized, but it was like he had so much of that. He was guarded because he's been in this relationship for 5 years, and it was your first official girlfriend. And so I get it. And so he's kind of going around choosing girls to be his point of interest. And so that's not for me. I'm sorry. I specifically told him, I was like, he did try to ask me out once. And he was like, let's try it. And I was like, well, I don't want to be one of your point of interest until you decide that I'm the one that we're not going to be.
So we actually took a year break.
Yeah. And there,
And then we started talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
he think it's a break. Me, it was a block.
Yeah, she kind of texted me like, you know.
Hey,
It's a different interpretation here. Okay.
because it was just it was ongoing of just calling me, complaining about his ex, and then like wanting me, and I'm like, your emotions are everywhere, dude. Like this, we gotta cut it off.
It is so crazy how immature we were 15, 20 years ago and how different our lives are now. Because like we don't deal with that in marriage. I mean, we deal with different things, but not,
We're gonna take a break for a year. We're gonna look back at it now, like, why did I say that? What did I do? Like,
why did I wear
yeah, why did I wear that? Yeah.
We'll look back in 10 years and think the same thing about this simple outfit we have on.
So after a year of not talking, we found out that we were going to the same community college.
Oh, okay.
So, and now we started hanging out again,
Nice.
with a group of friends, with other group of friends and stuff. So that's kind of how we got to know each other more, like our dynamic between friends first and stuff. Because at first, the year before that, was like, she's so annoying and stuff.
Gosh, I can't stand it.
Yeah. But after that, like, we got to hang out, like, after class and stuff with other friends and stuff. So, like, we kind of got to know each other more through that.
That's awesome. And here you are today. How long have y'all been married again?
Oh my goodness, this year will be, we were married in 2017, so about 8 years.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it was 8 or 9. Yeah, that's awesome. And then Yumi, you said this really briefly, but I think the only reason I want to touch this is I think sometimes people have a misperception of, if I'm interviewing somebody in church, they must have been going into church their entire lives. They must have been Christian their entire lives. Can you give me just a real brief background? You don't have to dive deep into what religion did you come out of, and how did that transition happen, learning about Christianity from that family?
Yeah, so I actually grew up as a Buddhist. And with Buddhism, now I will say though, my mom is a hardcore Buddhist herself, but was she exposing us to where we need to know the knowledge of like reading their version of their Bible? No. So I can't really say for those who are hardcore Buddhists. But from what I'm growing up and I guess the way I was raised, it was just, I did not see myself thriving. I just feel like everything I do was completely wrong. I have to be perfect in every way, which is, even till now, I'm a perfectionist, but I'm working on to not make that like affect my life.
Yeah. Because some of the tenets of Buddhism are based on living a right life.
Yeah.
So like garnering a favor with the gods, so to speak.
Yeah.
Kind of mentality.
So like lying, even like respecting your elders and all of that. If you even just do a simple slip of mistake, this is my perspective and this is how I was raised.
Sure.
Is basically you're just going to hell and you get judged from hell. And there's really no heaven, there's no grace whatsoever. You're just gonna get judged by a judge in hell. And he'll determine which when in hell there's like certain levels.
Yeah, okay.
And a lot of people doesn't know that in Buddhism there's certain levels of hell, and it depends on what you did in your life.
Wow.
So I'm just like, but our lifetime, it can be pretty lengthy, and I'm like, we're gonna be susceptible in saying one lie. So I guess I'm going to hell now.
Yeah.
And it can be just like a white lie you tell your kids.
Yeah.
That's it. You're going to hell. And so there was just no saving me. And I just feel like there's just no hope at all. And I'm just like, well, I can feel all the negative feelings in me. Honestly, I told Martin, like, that family, honestly, if I've never met them, this is not the life.
We wouldn't have met, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she wouldn't be safe.
I went through just seasons of just wanting to just quit life.
Yeah.
In general, I've tried commit suicide many times. I have just dark thoughts every day, and this family. Now, I wouldn't say like once I see them, like I see the holy lights or whatever. It's not like that. It's a process. It was very interesting to me. And just the way they were just showering me with this nice and kind hospitality that I did not feel that in my home. Like, I feel like every single time I come in my home, there's always some kind of drama. There's always some kind of coldness that's just not bonding us together like what a family should. Now, I still, hang out with my family and all. We're great. I mean, I'm at the point where even if we argue, it's fine. It doesn't affect me. I'm in my peace. But it was just, life was just not there for me.
Wow.
And so, that's just how I grew up, and I honestly am so grateful by the grace of God that I am where I am now.
Yeah.
Even when I have like arguments with people or people did me wrong, honestly, my heart is not like, I don't hold anything. It's like, it's not affecting me.
You've experienced grace, and now you have an overflow of grace. I've seen that in you. That's amazing.
Because I told Martin, I was like, the way I talk to people, now Martin is different because I know his life and I know how he is. So sometimes we can give it a bit into it. But when I talk to people, even if they do me wrong, I always say, like, I don't know their life. I don't know what might trigger them. So I just speak to them in a way that won't offend them in a way, and just show the grace that God has showered on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Sorry, I didn't mean to get us sidetracked because we did have a focus we wanted to talk a little bit. This is unscripted, so that's what we do. So thank you for sharing that very much. And I would go into yours, but yours is more like, raised in the church, dad was a pastor, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we'll skip over your story. It's too clean. We needed a good version of events from Yumi. No. The main reason I really wanted us to sit down and talk is because your life has been significantly blessed with an amazing child.
Yeah.
However, he wasn't in the plans, I would say, of how you originally imagined your life's turning out, how it originally imagined being parents. And so you've had to majorly, I almost want to use the word pivot, but it doesn't seem like that's the right word. It almost feels like you've had to uproot your dreams, ambitions, and goals and then replant them differently. And I hope that's the right verbiage to use. So take me back. Take our audience back. You're married now for a couple of years, I think, at that time, right? It was 2 years into it?
A year.
A year, okay, a year. And you find out you're pregnant. So walk us a little bit from both of your perspectives. You can cut in, go over each other, but that first experience of finding out we're going to be parents, and then that journey into what we know now. What does that look like?
I think for me, I've always known, and if this may be because the way I grew up, I've always known I want to be a mom. I always have that motherly instinct that I always want to be a mom. And so for me, finding out we're pregnant, I'm excited. However, at that moment, we were living with our in-laws. And for Martin, I have the video, but I deleted it because I was like, he's not going to see, I'm not going to have our son see this, the reaction. But Martin was like, you can see the dumbstruck face in his, and he was just shocked. I mean, he's excited in some way. Don't get me wrong. But I think as a guy, he's thinking he's the breadwinner and we're living with his parents. And at that point, he was making what, $11 an hour?
Is that what you're thinking? Yeah. It's crazy how that first thought is, how do I afford this?
I mean, because it's crazy because at that time, 2017, like full disclosure, like I was making probably like 33 a year.
Wow.
And we're living with my parents,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
And I was through
gosh,
school.
now I got to step it up. And she's going through PTA school.
Oh, no.
but-
No,
oh.
I was in my bachelor's.
Oh yeah, she was going to UTA with her, bachelor's degree, and I'm like, we're already paying for this, and then now we're gonna have a kid. I gotta step it up. So I'm like, God, please help me. Yeah, and because I had that reaction because at first, like, we just got married a year before, and I'm like, I had this plan, like, oh, we're gonna like spend so much time with each other first and then have a kid, but then Lucas just magically shows up out of nowhere. I'm like, yay. It's like,
He's our unplanned plan because he was planned by God. Okay. So that's what I always say. I know people have other terms for it, but he's our unplanned plan.
Well, I love that you mentioned the financial aspect too, because I know that plays majorly into your story as well. So you're pregnant. One of you is very excited. The other one is very excited, but also nervous. You have Lucas, and where does this journey go from here?
So the first thing was Lucas is actually a preemie. He was born at 35 weeks and 6 days. Now, it was very unexpected on me giving birth that early. And so the first step for us was, the birth was pretty uncomplicated. He was a healthy child, even though he was low weight, never had to go to the NICU. However, if you're a father, so the first thing they do is also test their hearing. And so the first thing we found out was Lucas actually failed his hearing test. And they give you 2 chances after you give birth. And so he failed the first one because they're thinking maybe he's just still have fluid in his ears. So the second time he actually failed it again. And I don't know any other parents who've been through this, is the fact that after you fail the second time, they'll tell you, let's wait for about a week or 2, and you come back and do a third one because maybe he just have a lot of fluid. Turns out it was not. He was ended up diagnosing with mixed conductive hearing loss in the left ear, which basically just means he has a small ear canal that the sound cannot go through enough to reach his inner ear.
Okay.
We've had his inner ear tested, and he can hear from there, but it's just that little.
It's just too narrow, yeah.
And so that was the first thing, and I thought that was, I'm just thinking like, okay, now he needs to get cochlear implants. We're gonna need to discuss this, but then like more on the financial aspect, and is this right for him? Because we've heard from people where like, yeah, they can't hear in one ear, but they still can thrive and can speak and all that. So it's like this is a huge decision as first-time parents, and we thought that was the hardest part of the journey.
Like, and we were like asking, is he gonna be able to speak? Is he gonna be able to like hear us and things like that?
And what are they telling you when you ask those questions? Is it doom and gloom, or is it, hey, there's a little bit of hope? Like,
it depends.
Really?
Oh, there's a little bit of hope. Oh, if you do surgery by 5 years old, things like that.
Yeah.
Like,
but they say like just focus on his speech. By a certain milestone, they should speak in this, which is where it leads to. We've noticed there was some stuff now that we look back when he was a baby. We kind of now see little red flags. He was a pretty easy baby. He was always calm and stuff, and he cries, but of course we don't think much of it because
baby doesn't cry, right? Yeah,
right. And so by the time he's 1, we start to notice that certain things he doesn't do. The biggest thing was he never responded to his name, and that was one of the most common things with autism. They don't respond to their name. Researchers doesn't know why. It's just
what did he do? What would it be like? He's focused on something else completely.
Yeah. His back can be towards me, and I'll be like, Lucas.
He's just in his own world.
Nothing. And then one of the other things we noticed also when he was close to 2, was he never points.
Yeah.
Even if he sees something that engages him. And that is one thing that I didn't think was a big deal, but apparently it is, because that's one way that kids get your attention and have this connection and communication with you. But he never really does that. Sometimes I think he did, but it was not purposeful where it's to engage with mom.
Yeah.
And so by the time he's 2, we hear him start to say like 1 or 2 words. But nothing past that. But it was not even a conversation. It wasn't to get mom to be involved in that conversation with him. It was just him just labeling things. And that's also one of the common things is they label what they see. They don't really like tell you like, Mom, airplane. So that I can look and
engaging in play, things like that.
So when he's labeling things, is it like you've told him this is water, so he's calling it water, or is he labeling it as something he wants to label it as?
Yeah. So there's something also called, oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher saying it.
It's okay.
Echolilia or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's basically repeating over. And that is their way of also processing.
Yeah.
Is they're repeating after you. So if I say water, he's going to say water. If I say chair, he's going to say chair. It's his way of processing of what that is.
Okay.
But it's never, oh, mom, water. Like, look, the water has different color or something. Just to get me engaged and talk with him. It was more of like, oh, I see what you see, so that's what it is.
Okay.
So
And he's doing this, and you still have no idea what's coming.
We had like a gist.
it's that instinct that something is wrong. Now, I will speak for myself, and I completely are okay that I'm agreeing with this now, because back then I would not. I'm more on the denial side. And it's the fact that I've seen my sister gave birth to 4 beautiful kids, and I've seen how she raised them. And my mom also have kids, and I've seen people around me who have kids, and they're fine. So I'm just like, that's going to be my life. So I'm just like, every single time Martin brings up something, it's like, no, it's fine. Like, he'll get out of it. Like, I know some kids are late in that phase. And so by the time when he was close to 3, that's when we have to take that survey. As any parents who go to take your kids to a pediatrician, they have the autism survey.
Yeah.
And that's when the pediatrician, she say that, he scored at borderline, which means that there's a chance he may not have autism and there's a chance he does. And now looking back, the way I answer that, maybe that's why it was borderline.
It's a little bit more nice because, like, I remember us filling out the survey. It's like, does he point or does he speak in sentences? Does he engage with this? Like, I say no, she says yes. No, babe, you gotta be honest. You gotta be.
That's a good question. So, are you seeing the signs as the dad?
Yes.
Like, are you registering that, hey, this could be autism, or are you just going, something's off here with my son?
I mean, I didn't know what autism was until, like, I saw, the symptoms of it and stuff, or the things that he does, and I'm like, okay, like, he might have autism.
Yeah.
So, like, by the time we had to answer that survey, I was telling Yumi, you got to be honest, because the more help. Okay, this is like one of the best. I think not the best, but one of a good advice for early parents. The earlier help that you get, the better it is for your kid. So the more you wait, then you're just doing your kid a disservice, because we got help early, which is great.
Yeah.
And, Lucas is thriving a lot more than we expected. So,
and for every parent, it is actually, we're in a time where autism can be diagnosed as early as 2 years old now. Yeah. Before, I think Lucas was probably in the first couple of years where they start bringing the test out where they can test early. But before that, they usually have to wait until the kid is about 6 or 7 years old or something like that, which is a lot of milestone missed.
It's too late. I mean, for me, it's too late.
I wouldn't say it's too late, but it's harder for them to get adjusted to that help.
4 or 5 years in a child is light years to us.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a lot. Okay, so let me ask another question, because we're still in the early stages of your journey, and I understand. But you're walking this out. What are you feeling faith-wise, spiritually? Is there any kind of, and I don't want to ask a leading question to put words in your mouth, but is there any kind of, are you feeling confused with God? Are you angry at God? Are you just going, hey, I'm going to walk by faith. My child's fine in the name of Jesus. Like, what are the conversations you're having? What's internally, spiritually going on with y'all?
For me, we actually had an early miracle before Lucas was born. So it kind of solidified my faith to trust in him, because Lucas was due in January, right? And then me and Yumi were talking, like, and we looked at the insurance and our deductibles and stuff, and I'm like, if you give birth in January, then we're gonna have to, the deductible's gonna have to reset,
right?
So we asked God, like, God, can you help us find a way to afford this baby? And then next thing you know, like, she was a premature baby. He was a premature baby, and she gave birth in December.
It'll all work out.
So the deductible is like good to go. So we're like, we're free and clear.
It's awesome.
So, and that's awesome. And it's like, God, you have a way of doing things. So after that, it's like, okay, God, like, whatever you say that you're gonna provide for us. And we're gonna trust in your word. Number one, that you're gonna provide for us, no matter if I'm only like making like $33,000 a year at that point. And I'm like, God give us opportunities, to create more wealth so that we could provide for this kid. Like at that time, we didn't even know that he was autistic.
Right.
But we were just like expecting like provision just for like a regular kid or something like that. But after that miracle, like it's not a coincidence. Like I don't think it's a coincidence. Like that's God right there. So after that, it's like it kind of solidified me to trust in God. Like it's a good reminder that God's always looking out for you. And everything.
Yeah. And I think from my perspective, I wouldn't say it's easier, but it is a little bit easier for Martin because he, grew up in a Christian household and stuff. And for him to trust in God, there's already like a seed planted there.
Right.
And while mine was literally like just a miracle of happening. And for me as a mom, I was literally blaming everything to myself because I'm thinking, what did I do during my pregnancy?
Yeah.
And maybe that has contributed to why I denied on the stuff that he can't do.
Because you've done everything right.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but then I'm like, now that I got that diagnosis, I'm just like, what did I do in my pregnancy that caused my kid? And it's not blaming him or anything. It was more taking all the blame to myself. And then there's moments where I question, I wonder, is this part of the sins I had committed?
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks.
Was this what the result of what's the sins I've committed? And so I've had, doubts. I'm just like, God, this is just, I was hoping for a healthy child, and I don't know how to go forward with this child. All I can think is his future, like what it's like. This is the moment, I guess, any parents who receive diagnosis, you do the research. Every parent just do the research because we don't know much about it. I've heard about it. I used to be a teacher assistant. I've seen kids with autism, but I never really researched into it. And so it was just like, the difficult part is kind of envisioning what my son will struggle with.
Yeah.
And as a mom, I don't want to see my son struggle.
Yeah.
And so it was heavy on my heart, and it was just, I'm just super lost. And he got diagnosed at 3.
Yeah.
And that's when we had to go to the psychologist. We did interviews. She did stuff to figure out. And then she said, yep, he has autism. And
what's the initial reaction in that moment? You finally get an approved diagnosis from a professional. What's going on in your mind?
It was like, at that moment, I think it took so long to get that diagnosis. It was like, okay, this is it. I mean, we can't change it. We got to move forward with this.
Yeah.
We can't change our son who he is. This is his diagnosis. We're moving forward. And
all the while, you're still carrying some sense of guilt, like God's punishment.
It takes a while. Actually, you would think after the diagnosis, and no, I still had that guilt for about, I would say, 2 years.
Wow.
Even it was slowly disappeared, but that guilt was still like linger on. And some days it would just be more than the others.
And are you feeling that at all?
Yes. Because I feel like also like I've heard research about like, oh, they get their autism genes from their dad. And I'm like, I look at my videos when I was a kid, I'm like, am I autistic too? Like, I don't know.
I will educate. So autism, there is no known reason to what caused autism. Now, they say with research, it was more high likely that it will be a genetic factor, and that we want on the paternal side. But any dads, don't blame yourself. There's no like solid evidence yet. Yeah. And even if you're pregnant right now and they offer you to do the genetic testing, they will not find autism there. So
it's interesting.
Yeah. So even if you did the genetic testing and then you're like, yeah, they say nothing is wrong with my kid, and then suddenly your kid has autism, it's because it can't be found in genetics yet. So yeah.
Yeah, but for me, I didn't really have that initial guilt per se, but I was questioning like, oh, did we do something that like did I stress her out so much or something like that during the pregnancy, or like was it environmental? Was it something that she took, that she ate, things like that. So like
It was
there's
a lot of research.
So
Was it the Vietnamese food? Was it the Filipino food? Like,
It was a mix.
was it the mixture?
I used to work at a Montessori, and so that we had a lot of Indian food. I was just like,
spicy.
it's the spiciness. I don't know.
And are y'all talking about this? I mean, are y'all having these conversations? Like, I feel like it's me. Are you trying to help the other person, or are you just kind of containing this into?
Most of the time it was like friendly, and then sometimes it would get kind of heated, like, oh, like you stressed me out, blah blah blah, at this time, and that's
Because we contained it.
yeah. So like
Kind of built up.
yeah,
Mhm.
because at that time as well, like I wasn't making much too, so like we were like, I was stressed about making money, and then she was stressed.
We weren't married too far in,
Yeah,
still exploring what living with each other is like.
yeah,
And so finances was a big thing.
yeah.
And then finding out our firstborn, and then the fact that we research on the resources that he will need.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I wish everything was free for special needs kids, but it is not.
Yeah.
It is actually cost a lot.
And correct me if I'm wrong, most insurances don't cover a lot of those resources. Am I right?
Unless
They have
you
a
have
wait list.
Medicaid.
Yeah. They have a wait list, a huge wait list for Medicaid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Medicaid will cover 100%. However, to get Medicaid, you have to have a certain income.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in their definition, we're too rich for Medicaid. But okay. And so even if we did have Medicaid, and this is me working as a medical professional as well. We deal with insurance all the time. Medicaid actually will hold things longer than if you have a commercial insurance. But the only thing is commercial insurance sometimes have a limit of how much they cover.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And to kind of give a little bit of an idea, because Martin and I, we did it once where we looked at what our insurance had covered. We have great insurance where it covered 100%. But we looked at what was covered for Lucas's therapy, and he has something called ABA therapy. It's a behavioral therapy for kids with autism. And just 6 months in, and he has to go there Monday through Friday, about 30 to 35 hours a week. Insurance had covered about $100,000 in 6 months.
Yeah.
And that is not including, and the great thing is my son does not need physical therapy or occupational therapy. He does need speech therapy.
Go for that.
Yes. So there are other kids. Autism is a spectrum.
Right.
So there's kids who are more severe than the others, and some kids who need more resources. So some kids actually have all three therapists, plus ABA or any other autism services. And that is a lot of money. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So that's where we got kind of very anxious.
So, okay, more details, because I mean, I remember y'all back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, hey, I'm working and I don't have a high-paying job yet. It's you're also in school.
Yeah.
I just finished a bachelor's degree.
Right. But now you have ambition to do other things.
Yet, but at that moment, it was, I first got a mind-blowing shock that apparently my bachelor's does not make well until I go for like a master or doctorate degree. Unfortunately.
Yeah, they don't tell you that when you first get into college. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, great. And now I'm making $12 an hour.
Back then.
With a bachelor's and an associate's degree.
Yeah.
Great. But I will say where my career is now, it is all through God's guidance of giving the resources to my child. Because everything I do is literally also me learning as a mom to how to help him.
Yeah.
So I guess we didn't ever say it, but I am actually a physical therapist assistant, and I actually work in the pediatric field. I actually just got a new job and in this really awesome sensory processing facility. So I do treat kids on the autism spectrum.
Right.
So I would say everything is kind of give credit to raising my son.
Yeah. That's awesome. And so, because that's a quick version. We just jumped from your bachelor's all the way to, okay, I'm a professional now and we're successful now. Martin, I want to hear your perspective. I know this conversation of provision, working, breadwinning, that is every man's greatest fear, especially when you have kids. It hits us. So what are you feeling? And then what was your journey of faith, of finding a better job? Like, how does this all work out to be able to afford all the things that you need for Lucas?
I mean, it's really all by the grace of God, because there's nothing that I did to actually get that provision. Like, I didn't say, oh God, I will work harder for this and then you'll give me this, but it's more of like trusting God that, okay, God, like I'll be faithful with the job that I have now, and I'll be faithful with the work that you've given me, and then, just trusting God that he will provide.
Yeah.
Because like I technically didn't earn anything that would get Lucas some help. So a little background, we got Lucas's therapy because my boss actually wanted to provide for Lucas. And so he was the one who's actually, the company is going to pay for Lucas's therapies. And that's nothing from what I did, that's from the goodness of my boss's heart to be able to provide to me. And that's like, I'm so grateful. Like, and that's nothing that I did. And that's God's way of providing for Lucas the help that he needs. So like, when we found out that Lucas had autism and he needed ABA therapy, and we looked at the bills and how much it is and stuff, and like it was like $200 an hour, and he's there probably like 6-7 hours a day for 5 days,
35 hours a week.
You rack that up in years, and within 4 years, and it's like, I can't even cover that, But then God made a way for, I guess my employer to be able to provide for that, and it's like, thank you, God, for like.
And he's been in ABA for 3.5 years.
Yeah, thank you, God, for like small business owners that are able to like provide for their employees. And absolutely, hats off to you guys, because you guys are like helping us as well. And that's like,
and there's nothing that requires him to do that.
Yeah.
At all.
It's out of the goodness of his heart. And then, like,
we need more businessmen like that who see opportunities for generosity. That's amazing.
And I would say like going back to when we received his diagnosis, I think this was the moment for me. And there was a lot of confusion and a lot of, I think, anger in myself. And then as a mom, I'm a planner, I'm an organizer. I like to like think billion things ahead. And so I'm thinking of my son like 30 years from now, 40 years from now, or when I'm in my grave, how is he going to survive? And so it's just all of this thoughts. And then it was just great timing where this is, I think, my father-in-law brought a keyboard over and he left it there. And this is the moment where I was just like in confusion, state of mind, still very angry. Suddenly I hear the intro of the song Furlies by Beethoven being played on the keyboard. And I'm looking at my 3-year-old like, I didn't teach you that because I don't play any instruments, and Daddy has not even taught you that. And so I was looking at Martin, I was like, are you hearing what I'm hearing?
And there was the iPad that he was listening to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we found out that he can absorb information like a sponge. Yeah. Not sure if he had photographic memory, but I think he probably does. And that was the moment. It was God's timing to tell me he's okay.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
He'll be okay.
Little signposts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, he'll be okay. And we're just going to give him the resources that he needs.
Praise God. Okay, I have one that I'm pretty sure was Lucas. I can't remember. Was he writing in Russian?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Okay,
Russian,
that so stands out to me.
Greek, Russian. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what
How
other.
old is he when he's doing this? This is last year, right?
like 3 or 4.
No, he started at around like 3 or 4, like one language at a time. But he started with more of speaking it. And so sometimes he'll like have this like questioning moment with us. He will like say something and then he's waiting for you to say the next thing. And I'm just like, I don't even know what word you're saying.
Frustrated too. Like, he will get angry that you don't know like what I know. Like,
Yeah. He was like, Mom, like you should be knowing Greek by now.
Are you concerned that when he's like 14, 15, he's super high functioning in society as a teenager, he's going to look at you like you are both idiots because you don't know
does now.
12 languages?
He does that now.
He does that now. I'm pretty sure. Because sometimes he questioned me, so I'm like, I don't know.
I love that.
But yeah, we found out and throughout his ABA years, I don't think they have a test for this, but it's also a trait of kids on the autism that they are so hyper focused on something that they love. Lucas have what we call hyperlexia. You hear of people who have dyslexia. Hyperlexia is actually kind of the opposite of that, where they are so advanced in reading and writing, way above their years.
Yeah.
And Lucas, you can teach him once and twice, and he'll get it. And you won't see him do it there, but maybe a week from now, he'll just randomly just show you.
Or
And-
just randomly write something on paper and is like, and you look at it like, is that a sentence?
Yeah. And so a lot of misconception about autism is they don't pay attention. That is false. They are very observant.
Yeah.
Okay, can we touch on this a little bit? All right, so y'all have been a part of the church since the beginning. Lucas is a part of our church. And I know for us, as people who have not been exposed to autism ever in the life of our church or even in our personal lives, this was a major adjustment for us as well. Not that it's not for y'all at all. I'm not trying to overshadow, but it was the first time we've ever experienced this.
Yeah.
And I know a few things now, and I've learned, and our team has been so great at trying to step up. But I've seen a couple things, and I'm curious about this. Number one, Lucas attaches himself to very specific team members.
Yes.
And then the other ones, he completely ignores. So what is that? Is it something specific that he feels like there's a connection with them, or did they reach out? Like, do you know how that? Because I'm thinking of like Christine and I think Hope as well.
Yeah.
Are two.
Impressions is really big. Lucas.
Okay.
I don't know if like Lucas is individually for him, he's really big on first impressions. So if you just come at him right away, like demanding so many things from him, like he's gonna see you as a threat. He's overstimulating, things like that, and he'll just close off until you get in his good graces.
He's been with therapists, tons of therapists, ABA therapists, and also speech and occupational therapy before. And we can see who he will work with.
Yeah.
You will see him thrive. But the moment that, I've encountered this with one, I think it was
There was this one lady at
occupational therapist.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Nothing wrong with it. She was just not, the way she was doing her treatment was not for Lucas. Maybe for another kid, but for me, the moment she start talking with him in a certain way, I knew that was not him.
So funny because you have mom mode and you have a professional mode that work in sync now. That's so crazy.
So it was like, I knew her method was not going to work on my son. It was a very like old traditional method that I guess it was like, not as, other therapists where like, oh, I'm going to talk to you like a player. It was more of a like strict.
Dude.
And Lucas was when he first started with them. And so he was like maybe 3 or 4 years old. So he's in a play mode. And so he shut down, meltdowns all around. And luckily she was just like one that kind of covers for his usual therapist. And so his usual therapist, he thrives. He loves her.
That's awesome.
So we know that's whenever he starts a new therapist, we have to tell them like, hey, Lucas, he will test you.
Yeah.
And like maybe the first month or so, see what your boundaries are and who you are. And if he loves you, he will work with you really well. But if he kind of iffy about you, he'd probably just ignore you and not even care about you.
Yeah, we see it at home too. So like if he had a bad day in school, like we see like the effects of it at home, like the way he's stressed, the way he responds to us. It's like I don't want to say it, but it's the way that he was dealt with in school. That was kind of we're getting the after effects of the aftermath of what's happened, because most of the time he holds it in, and then when he gets home he's
And now, okay, so I'm going to come from a parent's perspective of a totally different child. My kids can come home, have a horrible day like my daughter did yesterday. She came home, had to cry about something. but we can literally just sit her in front of a TV or have a quick conversation with her. She dries her eyes and she moves on. I don't think people understand with Lucas, that's not always going to be the case, right?
So Lucas has, with autism, there's a couple of things that you can go with. So Lucas has what we call sensory seeking. He's a sensory seeking boy, which means he seeks for stimulus around his environment to help regulate his emotions.
His body.
Like drums.
Yeah.
Drums, keyboards.
I've seen him go after these drums so many times.
Yes. You will see Lucas running around. He'll climb things.
He loves climbing.
Yeah, when we're at his brother's home, he'll be climbing the stairs. He'll be climbing on their couch. We've
dangerous side.
Yeah, we've caught him climbing we used to have a TV stand that is like floated, so it's like
onto the wall.
Yeah, so we've caught him climb on top of there.
Broke the TV.
Yeah, he broke the TV. Great. So we end up buying him an indoor jungle gym.
Yeah, you go.
So I was like, you got to climb this instead.
Yeah.
But there's time where, and people doesn't understand that autism, they have a little impairment in sensory processing. And sensory processing is pretty much important for everybody's day life when you get sensory input from the environment to how to respond properly and how you can regulate your emotions.
Yeah.
And so with kids on the autism spectrum, they lack in that, or they're impaired in that, so they get overstimulated.
Yeah.
So I can sit here and talk with you guys like it's normal, and I can like not focus on any other environmental stimulus or stimuli around me, while Lucas can sit here. He can listen to your voice. He can listen to my voice. He can see that light. He can, see a fan spinning. All of that stimulus is all like
He's absorbing it.
He's absorbing it all in one time. While us, we're just absorbing one at a time and maybe like a little bit of the others, but it's not bothering us. And we can focus on each other.
He feels it all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes he has bursts.
So for him to regulate, we get him to climb, we give him big hugs. Sometimes he buries himself like in the couch.
Yeah.
Just to get that, the little firm sensory, like big old hug.
We have him carry groceries because carrying heavy work, because they're sensory seeking, it will give him that sensory input and it will regulate his emotions.
That's so interesting.
But there are kids who are not sensory seeking and they're more sensory defensiveness, which means that
some kids don't want to hug. They don't want any of that.
I think one of the stories that hit Martin and I the most when we were still new to the autism spectrum was we read a dad where he said that the only time he gets to hug his child was if his child was asleep. The whole day, he can't hug his child because his child won't let him hug him.
Yeah.
So he has to wait until his child is in deep sleep for him to hug his child.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so blessed that my son loves hugs. He's a cuddle bug. He actually, oh my gosh, even till now, he's like almost 7 years old.
This morning.
If he sees Martin and I next to each other, right there.
And right in between, like sandwich in between us. Like.
Yeah. We have something in our home where I kind of started was called hug sandwiches. And that is between Martin's here, I'm here, he's in between, we hug, and he's a sandwich. And now we actually, we have a 2-year-old as well. And the great thing is our 2-year-old is super welcoming with his brother. Now, they still have that sibling rivalry situation. Lucas's autism did not stop that from happening. But we actually start involving him into it because we're educating our 2-year-old how to work with brother, especially when he's overstimulated.
Yeah.
So they love it. They love the little quick hug sandwiches and they ask for it all the time. So and that's one way.
How would you I don't know what the word I'm looking for. How would you educate, I guess, people in our church? Because we have seen some terrified faces, right? Because all they see is this little boy out in the foyer screaming. We've heard him before. The walls are very thin here. It's an old building. So we've heard him before. I've seen you have to get up in a hurry because something happened and maybe he just had an outburst. Maybe he just wasn't feeling it today. Number one, like I want to speak as the pastor.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. Like, that's the big thing. Yumi did not go be her child. Like, that's not what's happening here, right? But I know because they don't know him, to them it just looks like, oh, this kid needs a whooping, this kid needs some discipline. They don't understand. So if someone in our church is here on a Sunday, they hear him screaming in there in the service, or they walk out in the foyer and they see him and he is not feeling it today.
Yeah.
How do we help support you? How do we love you through that? In the moment, what do we do? Do we hands off? Do we say, do you need any help? Like, what is the best response?
One of the thing I will answer that really quickly, but Martin and I, and we're really low key about this, is we've actually encountered a couple of times, and not at the church, luckily, but more on a society that doesn't understand our son. I think my first encounter was, and this is like literally during when we're trying to figure out his diagnosis. And so it was, I'm a mess. And so that made it even worse, was I took Lucas for the first time by myself to the park. And there was this kid who is, and not blaming the kid. I never blame kids because I don't know. He's about, I think, about my son's age. And Lucas was just having one of his stimming moments. He doesn't really do as much as often, but I know there's kids who are more severe where they do stimming, like flapping their hands, doing spinning in circles multiple times. So Lucas was just kind of repeating the same thing and just like clapping his hands. And this kid did not understand why my son was not moving out of the way. And he kept on telling him over and over, like, excuse me. And then he seeing my son doing all this like stimming, and he thought it was weird.
Yeah.
And this is the moment he looked at his mom and he said, Mom, what is wrong with him? And as my heart, at that moment, I'm great at telling people now, but at that moment, I didn't know how to educate this kid and his mom without being an angry mom.
Yeah.
Like, nothing is wrong with my child. He's okay. He's just different. Yeah. So that was one of the moments where I realized the society will not accommodate my son. So how do I get my son ready for that? So that was the moment I went mama bear. Like, I am going to learn everything from my son. And if you see something different with my son, I'm not going to be angry. I'm just going to educate you.
Yeah.
Because the thing about families with special needs kids, we're so used to getting angry. Yeah. But does it do anything? No. Yeah. They're not going to learn for you just yelling in their face.
Yeah.
I'm just going to educate you. Hey, my son has autism. He processes things differently. Please give him time.
Honestly, following y'all on social media has been my biggest education. I mean, I can't spend hours researching it, but the things that you've posted are so simple and easy to understand and follow through. Y'all have done a great job at balancing this is what we're feeling in this season versus this is what research shows versus this is where Lucas is. And it's helped us because, we don't get to see 24/7. We're not parents with you. We're a community. We want to help, but we're not in the trenches all the time with you, right? But y'all being able and willing to share that, like you said, you don't share it with anger. You share it with like a love for people to go, I want you to know about my child. And I want you to know how special he is. Because Lucas is very, very special. But you also need to know that, hey, if he doesn't want to talk to you, he's going to ignore you, and that's okay.
And this is the medical professional of me, was I treat kids on the autism as well. And I enter the home, and these are some kids who are 3 or 4, just received a diagnosis, and parents are still, I can see myself in them. Mm. And so sometimes I tell them, I say, she or he will be okay. This is not their limit. As long as you provide them the resources and the support they need and the love, they'll be okay. They might struggle in the future, but as long as you are there to guide them, they'll be okay. And so I think that's just like a lot of time you're just so fearful that you just forgot that you have a God who provides it all.
Yeah.
And so for me, in those situations, we have multiple situations where I think there was one where there was a season where people start using this trendy word called acoustic.
Yeah.
For kids on the autism. Now, I'm the type of person who would see both sides, and Martin's shielded one side, so he's a fight kind of guy.
He's a boxer.
He's a boxer, so he's a fight kind of guy. So he's like, yeah, that's offensive. Me, I'm like, I get it. Some people trying to like play words and stuff, but there are younger kids, especially teenagers, when they don't understand yet and they have hormone situation. They use it as a way of just getting along with their peers and right, trying to fit in with their peers, and they think it's funny. We had an incident where we were with our family and we finished eating out. It was in the evening, and this is where parents that doesn't have an autistic kid doesn't understand. Yeah. It can be a split second, and that kid maybe not have that behavior of eloping, running away.
Yeah.
They never experienced it, but sometimes there will be that moment where it would trigger it, and it'll be an
or
instant.
they'll be like interested in something else over there, and he wants to run, so he just runs. Like he doesn't, no sense of danger, nothing.
Okay, so
just runs. Yeah,
that does happen.
Yeah.
With kids who are not on the spectrum. However, to your point, I can say their name and they immediately stop and turn around.
Yeah. Here we cannot redirect.
Right.
They're so focused on what, they are so focused on what they want, they forgot about it. Or if they're overstimulated, they have what the flight or fight response.
Yeah.
So they will try to run away from that. And so it can happen in a split second. And so Lucas had that one moment. He never had it before. He ran towards the street, the traffic. Luckily, Martin was able to grab him in time. But we overheard a group of teens just sitting there, and one of the boys said, "Oh, is he dumb or something? Is he acoustic?" And that was
Really?
You're not in jail, so that's a good thing.
I went up to the kid like, "Hey, I know what that means."
Like, we understood that. And I just looked at Lucas. And I try to say as loud as possible, I say, "You're okay. Were you wanting that? It's okay, but be here with mom," so that the kids know, like, my son needs time to process them. So yeah, we've had moments where we have to educate people on how Lucas is, because the world, unfortunately, not everybody know what autism is.
Yeah.
They're still researching.
And there's so many different levels of it as well.
Yeah. So
it's a spectrum.
Yeah.
So I guess for the church, like, if you see Lucas does certain things here, like,
please don't tell us that he does not look autism. That is very offensive to autism parents.
Is there a look? I didn't know there was
a look.
I just encourage you to just say hi to him. That way, like I said, first impressions are a big thing for him. So if you give him the first impression that you're friendly, that you're very easygoing, not too demanding, things like that, like he will open up to you. Yeah. Like he will come give you a high five, things like that, because he's really a sweetheart, really.
He's sweet.
He cares about people. You know, he shares his food. He shares his whatever. But he loves.
He has this way of showing his emotions to you.
Yeah, and he's very affectionate. He's very, like Yumi said, he's a cuddle bug. So if he wants hugs, he just comes and give you a hug or lay down on your lap, things like that. So, if you see Lucas around here or like he's screaming, maybe just give him space. And ask him if he's having a hard time, maybe ask for a hug. If he says no, then give him space. Then if he says yes, if he's comfortable, then, he'll come to you.
Yeah.
But, usually it's him just regulating his emotions and regulating what he's feeling. Sometimes if he's too overwhelmed at that point, you could like, "Hey, let's go to this place where it's more quieter." So you could,
He's very... So with kid autism, if you can redirect them to something else, sometimes it will help regulate their emotions. And it can be taking them to a quiet place where there's not much noises, to have them have time to just gather their emotions. Now, it's also a reminder that because my son's on the autism, I know how he is. We're working with him, so don't assume like we're just neglecting him or
we're trying our best.
We're trying, and we're speaking this not because we think we're perfect in being parenting at autism. Yeah. There's moments where I'm also frustrated because I am hearing him crying bloody murder and he has his worst moment where it will be a straight meltdown for about 45 minutes.
Yeah,
and that was him just crying. And if you come in,
not just crying.
Right. If you see him, and this is maybe some old school folks will see this and they say it's a no-no. And if you see my son come and smack me in the face, it is not because out of malicious intent. I swear. And it's actually his way of getting my attention and telling me he's frustrated about something.
Because he can't communicate yet. So that's kind of a way. When Lucas swipes her face, it's like, hey, Mom, look at me, instead of, what's going on.
And I promise I am not, I have that gentle parenting, but I am also like a therapist. So I know how to kind of redirect him. And he knows he's not supposed to do it because you can see his face after he does it. He feels guilty and he realizes he just done goof.
We would say sorry after too. Like, sorry, Mommy. But the hard thing is for us to like regulate or help Lucas is like, especially in disciplining Lucas, is like, is this the 6-year-old Lucas or is this Lucas being overwhelmed? So like distinguishing that.
Oh, we're looking towards the teenage years.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned redirecting because I just saw a video. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's kind of circulating a little bit. There was a teacher, autistic student. He's probably about 16, 17 years old. And he has decided that he is now the alpha male. And so he's standing up in front of the class. Now, the kids are making fun of him, but he is very serious. He doesn't want to hear from the teacher. So he is saying, I am the alpha male. I am above you, teacher. You will listen to me. And I started reading through the comments because I was like, what is going on here? And parents with autistic kids said this teacher did everything so well because he engaged with the conversation at first. And then he figured out how to redirect the conversation. So the kid forgot what he was even talking about as far as being an alpha male. Mm-hmm. But to your point, he's 17, he's verbal, he's high functioning. He just had a moment where he needed a redirection. You're going to have to look forward to that in teenage years. And so having that discernment to know now whether he's a 6-year-old boy or this is autism.
It's starting to come a little bit clear on, is this more of a behavioral or is this more of a sensory situation?
That's true.
And that's why I am so grateful for this new job, is actually I'm starting to learn more about it and tactics to help him figure it out. But yeah, with Lucas, just give him time. And if you don't know how long, it takes about 10 seconds for them to process what you're saying.
Yeah, so if you ask him a request or things like that, give him 10 seconds, 8 to 10 seconds. So do you want this? And let him answer, give him time. And then if you want him to do something for you, let's say it's time for bath time, so it's time for dinner, you would count down from 10 to 1. So he knows by the time it's 1, he would turn off his iPad or he would go to the bathroom. So like he needs time to like process.
And a routine.
They're
good of structure. And the one thing about him is, or one misconception is, autism is, there is some kind of intellectual disability with certain kids on the autism spectrum. With Lucas, if you ask him, give me 2 apples, you will see that freezing stare. He'll probably go get you an apple, but he's probably not going to get you 2 apples. But if you tell him, hey, can you play me the C chords on the keyboard? Or can you tell me he hasn't been here yet, but 54 times 54, he will tell you in an instant. So it's very interesting to see how they process things. His is more of a social cues. Academically, he's through the roof. He's through the roof.
He's right now, I think,
very smart.
His first grade psychologist, I think they put him as like he's above grade level on mathematics, reading, and everything else. But like the social aspect of how many apples do you have, or like give me 3 apples. I need this and this. Like,
can you share this with a friend, or if you're frustrated about something. So he's very independent and he likes things a certain his way. And so that's why I meant like he always look at us like we're dumb because his way is superior. And so when people doesn't get what he's trying to do, he gets mad and he gets frustrated, and then you see him screaming or crying, just outbursts of cry. That's when you give him time to process his emotions. And then if he's coming to you like, I want this, or like he'll just tell you one word over and over again, it's because it means so important to him, and he's trying to give you time to figure out what he's wanting you to do.
I also want to be clear too, just for anybody watching, when you say if you see him at church, give him a hug, we're not speaking of just any general person. We're specifically talking about the team members that work with Lucas. I just wanted to clarify that just in case. Anyway, I didn't want parents being like, they want people to hug their kid, keyboard warriors at YouTube.
But he also have tools. So we always have tools on hands ready. If you think when you have kids and you're having plan A, plan B before you guys leave the house or something, with kids on the autism, we have all the way to the outside of the alphabet quarters. And if we forget one of his important tools, that's it. That day's over. Yeah. So don't feel mad when a special need family have to cancel a plan on hand because something had happened and their kids are not going to survive throughout. We've had times where we go to an event and suddenly Lucas saw a piano on stage.
Yeah.
And he wants to play that piano, but we're not going to have to
explain to him that why he can't go up there and play the piano.
Because we always, whenever people are off of the stage, because his dad has a church, and once they're done with their service, they let him go up there and he can play whatever he wants. But when they have service, he doesn't understand. I can't go up there while these people are singing and praising God, and I'm over here playing maybe my random chords that I've discovered. So just let him. Just understand his meltdowns there's nothing malicious about him. He's just trying to figure out his emotions and trying to communicate with you.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you for educating all of us really on that. I have one more question. It's kind of a hard one, but I really want to ask it. This is unscripted, so let's go there. Nice. The beginning stages of understanding you have an autistic child, you have no idea what that holds, what that looks like. You're already feeling guilt. Was there ever a time where you had the mindset, or I'll ask it this way too, is there anything that I as your pastor or our church influenced in you inadvertently, because this is never our intent, where you thought, God, heal my child. This is not right. Heal my kid. Are you seeing it as a sickness? Are you seeing it as an oppressive thing? How do you navigate that, if so?
I can say confidently, and I think for myself and Martin, I don't think we ever see Lucas's diagnosis as a sickness like a cough or a cold that we are praying to go away.
That there's a cure.
That is, I mean, if there was a cure, because I think there's organization that's trying to find one, I am all for it, but not to cure my son's diagnosis. It was more to help him navigate the world and lessen his struggle.
Yeah.
It's not to cure him, because autism, it's who he is. That's what God's plan is for him. And we start to see where that's heading for him, because we've seen things that he excelled at, what research has said, he might have difficulty with, but he excelled that.
Yeah.
So no, we never actually ask God to heal his diagnosis. We ask God to kind of give him peace and to help with the struggles and give us parents the wisdom and the knowledge and the patience to understand more about his diagnosis.
Good.
So that we can help him to help whatever plan he has for him, to help with the society. And that can be also educating people on himself. And the great thing now that we have also a 2-year-old is we can show that our 2-year-old, and maybe in the future, he can show people how he have able to navigate around a person with autism.
I asked that because, my YouTube algorithm is filled with all kinds of churchy stuff. And there was a video that circulated for quite a while. It was this lady who calls herself an apostle, and she's not. She's very false, but she's trying to cast the demon out of an autistic kid. Did you see that? And it broke my heart more than anything, because at this time, I'm learning through y'all's eyes who Lucas is, what that is. And I'll be honest, like in my old life of charismatic Pentecostal, I probably would have agreed with that mentality of it has to be a demon. Knowing what I know now, understanding scripture, and then knowing you and Lucas, I thought, how traumatizing for this kid who is being told that he's a demon. There's a demon inside of him. And to him, he's probably thinking there's nothing wrong whatsoever. So I don't want you to feel like you have to theologically defend yourself or anything, but I know that if this little section of our conversation gets online, there are people who take completely extreme opposing sides. But let's talk to the family in the middle. So let's talk to the Martin and Yumi at a church in Arkansas, and they're walking through the same thing, just found out they have an autistic kid, and they're asking their pastor, what did we do wrong? Is this a punishment? Can God heal our kid? You know, what do we have faith for, really, I think, is the core question. How do you counsel them? What do you say?
For me, I have faith for the provision. I have faith for God to help Lucas navigate his life differently, because for my life, God has a different plan, and I might have a different plan for Lucas for myself, but I now understand that God has a different plan for him. So it's up to me to, trust in God's plan that he's going to help Lucas understand the world better and to help him feel at ease and, have all the help that he needs so he could thrive. Because for me, I don't see it as like a disease or there's some kind of cure for it. I mean, great. If there is, then we'll try it. That's really up to Lucas now. So if he gets older, if he understands, like if there's a cure, then that's really up to him, because it's not really up to us anymore. But for trusting in God, like just trust God that he will give you the resources and that he will help your child be the best that he is. Because for me, autism there's highs and lows. Like we go through valleys. There's some high moments that's really great, but there's some low moments like, okay, God, put us through this and it'll be okay.
I think like with the world and adults, when someone is not like you, we have such adult judgmental thoughts that when they're not like you, they're weird. Yeah. Something is wrong. But it's so cool to me that when I looked at Lucas, we realized that there's so many simple things that makes him happy.
Yeah.
He's such a simple kid.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, what happened to us adults being happy at the simplest thing?
Yeah.
Now we're so materialistic. And then now I have a 2-year-old, and my 2-year-old, he doesn't know what autism is. He doesn't know, like, brothers jumping on the bed. I'm jumping too. And so it's that childlike mind that think, oh, my brother's just having fun.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong with him. So if the world can kind of shift your thoughts into what a child would perceive, everybody's the same.
Yeah.
Now, there may be some things that they do a little bit different, but we're all pretty much the same. And so I guess for parents who are going through the same thing too, look at more on the simple side.
Yeah.
Don't look so complex. Oh, he might struggle with this, struggle with that. What is he achieving today?
Yeah, that's good.
Like yesterday, he was, fighting you, brushing his teeth. Today, he's kind of holding his toothbrush now. So focus on what today is, and you'll start seeing the seed that you have planted in him, or God has planted in him, and you will see it will start to sprout.
Yeah.
But if you continue to think more complex and think of all the negative thoughts, like my child can't do this, my child can't do that, and like he's not supposed to do this like outside in the grocery store or whatever, then he's just gonna wither away and there will be no fruit.
Wow.
So for parents, and that's speaking to my past self as well, because I was one of that. I was just constantly thinking of what he can't do. But now that I'm focusing on what he can do today, that maybe, and the thing is, maybe a lot of people doesn't know, Lucas actually said mommy for the first time when he was 4.
Yeah.
When he said, "I love you, mommy," when he was like about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
While other parents heard that from maybe 1 or 2 years old.
Yeah.
And so it's
It means a lot
focusing
more to us.
focusing on those achievements and those wins every day.
Yeah.
Because now that kid is just, I mean, he still struggle on talking, but now he's able to tell me what he wants. He still struggle maybe telling me more than 3 words. But hey, if he wants milk, he say, milk. I was like, okay, let's go to the fridge.
Yeah.
That's a win for me.
Or lay down.
Lay down. So I'm like, okay, let's lay down.
I wish my kids would tell me that. Take a nap. It's okay. Well, I am so inspired by y'all. There was a moment that has always struck me because, from my perspective, I can't remember what service it was, but it was we were praying for people, and I remember the Holy Spirit just really impressed on me. Tell Martin to go grab Lucas, and you ran out to grab him. And you came back in with him. And I'm waiting on, because at this point we're praying, we're giving people words, and I'm waiting on, like, what is this specific thing? I'm like, are we praying for him to get healed? Like, what does this look like? I have no idea what's about to happen. I do remember actually 2 things. The first distinguishable moment was as soon as you came up to the front with Lucas, he did not want to be prayed for. He wriggled down, ran right for the drums. That was the funniest part. And you almost started freaking out, but you composed yourself. But I remember the only word that came to mind was grace. Fill them with grace. You're going to need all the grace. You have no idea. Grace, like God's about to give you a wave of grace. And I can honestly say that's exactly what he's done for y'all.
Yeah.
Like I've watched you walk with so much dignity, so much honor, and just so much grace, because I think every parent might say, no, I didn't want that. But if it happened, I'm sure we could endure it. I'm sure we can make it. Absolutely, we'd be fine. I would love to say that.
I hear from parents all the time. They're like, I don't know how you do it. Like if my kid is special needs, I don't think I can do it. I don't think any parents think they could do it until you're actually put in that spot.
Yeah.
Because who else is gonna fight for your child but you?
Yeah. And y'all done an amazing job. And so I'm really grateful, not only to be your pastor, but to be a friend, and I've known you forever, and just to watch you grow. I was actually looking at photos from years and years ago at the church. And gosh, we all looked like babies, but y'all looked like little babies when you first.
Pastor was beautiful.
Oh, no, but it was so interesting because, as you get older, you start having flashbacks to those moments. And I do remember when there was, 15 people in this room, but you two were sitting together, and now to see you're married, you're both successful in your industries, you have 2 beautiful children, and neither of them is disabled or held back or anything. Like, they have been given the world, and you both have worked so hard, but you've walked in so much grace, and you've had to. And I don't want to say it wasn't a choice for you, because there's always a choice. You could have just given up on Lucas. You could have just said, whatever, he'll figure it out. We don't have the money. But you trusted God. He provided, and spiritually you walked with grace. And so I just want to thank you for being such an inspiration to moms and dads out there who don't understand. Thanks for educating us.
And I will say we're not even finished.
No, absolutely not.
It's an ongoing thing. And every season is different, but we choose to look at the wins.
Yeah.
And we choose our son rather than what the society claim him to be.
Yeah. Well, let me end with this. I'm not saying it will happen, but if people are watching this, I don't know about your accounts on Instagram, but are they open? Or do you have private accounts? I don't remember.
Martin has his boxing accounts.
Okay, yeah, Martin has boxing.
Mine is more private.
Okay.
And I think I chose it that way because I don't know how I feel about like putting my kids' stuff on pictures.
That's absolutely fine. I guess my question then would be, if people in our church are curious, if they have questions, or if they see something with Lucas and they are curious, do you have any consternation to say, no, don't ask me a question? Right? Are you okay to approach you?
We love when people actually come and ask
people.
And honestly, stop me if I become too long in telling you about myself. I would go through the whole detail when he was born, if you let me.
Yeah.
But no, we're always open when it comes talking about Lucas, because we want you to get to know him.
Yeah. Good. Well, let's do this. Do you mind if we pray? And we'll pray for everybody watching. I want to pray for y'all and for Lucas and Lennox as well. Father, we just thank you. Thank you for this openness, for this transparency, for their honesty. But thank you, God, for the signposts in their life that you handed them to say, I'm with you every step of the way. Lord, we just lift up families who might be watching this and they just got that diagnosis for their 2-year-old, their 3-year-old, and they have no idea what to do. And it just feels like everything came crashing down around them. I pray that they would look and watch this video a few times to just hear these hints of unusual miracles in Martin and Yumi's life, these unusual miracles that you've done walking with Lucas. Because I know one day he probably already understands now, like he's going to know the saving grace of Jesus. He's going to walk in righteousness like we do. And I'm so grateful for his parents. God, I just pray for a continued blessing over them, more and more grace. You take care of the provision, you take care of all of that. But I'm so grateful because I remember the day that Yumi said, I finally get it. I understand the grace of God. I've been able to watch Martin grow as a man into a father, into a husband. And I'm just grateful because I can see your handprint all over them. So, Lord, we just glorify you. And I pray over the future that Lucas has. I thank you that it is so bright and so wonderful. And it is so on the straight and narrow. Thank you, God, for the creativity you've given him and the abilities you've given him. My God, I played piano for 20 years, God, and he's even better than me now, and he's only 6. So, but thank you, God, because we know that in these few years of his life, we've seen that you have ordained his footsteps, so we can trust you for the future. And when we're not even around, we know that he's going to have a successful, thriving life. Lord, thank you for blessing him with the right doctors and specialists and just ordaining everything that Martin and Yumi has needed. And I pray that that would be a testament to anybody watching, whether they're dealing with this situation or another, that you are faithful in every season and you always provide. And we glorify you. We give you all the praise, the honor, and glory in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, thank you all for jumping on, and I hope people will ask you questions. I hope that we'll educate ourselves more, but thank you for trusting us as your church and trusting our teams with Lucas. We love him, and we're just honored by you, so appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.